tutorial was on the sunset look. If you want to check that out, I will probably leave it over here in the corner for a few seconds so that you can click on it and go watch that one first. This time I'm going to be as detail-oriented as possible, but not as detail-oriented as the first time. If you want to know how to do, start your look, before you start putting makeup on your face, then definitely check out that video. So, as everyone already knows, I've already washed my face and primed my face, so now we are going to move on to this step, which is to do color corrector. For those of us that are trans girls, we need it. It absolutely has to happen. You use it for any dark areas where you have hair growth. You use it there. It's a charm. And I personally use this shaped sponge for that. It really doesn't matter, the sponge. Obviously, the better quality your sponge, the better quality application you'll have, but I'm not too terribly picky with mine. Just make sure that you give it a good application round to wherever your darkest areas for hair is. And then you want to blend it in. You know how we do, blend it in. Once you have that to your liking, then you can move on to your foundation. For me, I use Kat Von D. The glare. Okay. Kat Von D. And that is my shade. I would not suggest getting someone else's shade. Make sure you actually go in. There are two ways you can do this. They usually have like applicators you can grab and try it. Put it on your face. Make sure it matches your face, because your skin on your arm or hand or back of your hand is not generally the same as your face. Or they can use the gun, which as a trans girl, I would not do that, because here is not going to be as dark as down here where hair growth is happening, unless you've already had laser, in which case then you can use that. It probably works for you, but for me, it does not, because I still have dark spotches down here that need to be taken care of. So definitely make sure that you check your face. Check it on your face first. And for me, I do a dab like maybe that big at a time, and make sure that it all gets blended really well so you can't see where you applied it. Because if you don't, it won't work right. In my opinion. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone is welcome to do their own thing. I'm just giving you what works for me. What I have found works for me. And you can try different things to help you find what works for you. But I want to help other trans girls out there that have not used makeup before to be able to use makeup and do it easily so it's not too complicated. Because I know at first it kind of feels like it's a bit overwhelming. And it can feel a bit overwhelming. But it's not really once you get into it. Don't let it scare you away. It gets to be a lot of fun after a little while. And then you get super sucked into it, so be careful. I spend upwards of too much money on this. Make sure you have good lighting, because if you don't have good lighting, you're not going to be able to see where you're putting any of this, and you're going to end up walking out with lines and other things that you'll have to worry about. Or it'll look splotchy and not natural. So we want to make sure that we are getting every little bit, and make sure you're using the right lighting so you can see where you've applied and you have not applied your makeup, whether it be foundation or your color corrector or whatever else that it is that you may be using. Because as you can tell, you can see where I've applied my foundation, and then there's this one little circular splotch that I haven't applied it to, so it's really easy for me to see what I'm doing. And my suggestion, if you do not have eye primer, because we will be applying eyeshadow, if you do not have some kind of eye primer, I would suggest doing what I do, because I'm cheap and I do not have eye primer. I would suggest that you prime your eyes with foundation. It's a weird trick, I know, but it's something that I learned because I use a lot of pigmented eyeshadow, and if you don't get some kind of coverage up here, that eyeshadow will like dye your eyeball, and we don't want that. Alright, and now our face is done as far as foundation is concerned. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to whiten up my T-zone right here. Okay, and then it wings out up here. You'll see in a second. For that I use this currently, which is my Luxie Contour Palette by Lamora. I know it's highlight, but it really isn't highlight. It doesn't shimmer or shine. So, but anyway, I use this one right here. It's brighter than my foundation, just enough to give it a little bit of a pop, but not too much. And I just follow. I kind of have my own kind of guideline that I follow for my face. Everyone's faces are different, so make sure you find what works for your face. Do not just copy what I do, because it may not work for your face. But once you find what works for you, it becomes habit, and it makes it easier and easier to do the more you do it. And then I use bronzer. And like I said last time, when you're using your bronzer, most people will tell you to start here and brush this way. You actually want to brush backwards. It gives it a more natural look. And you want to definitely do your fishy face to find where your lines are. I've basically got mine memorized. So do what works for you, like I said, on pretty much everything. I mean, that's kind of what makeup is about, though, you guys. Like, it's kind of like an art, and you're an artist, and you can paint your face however you like. That's the beauty of it. Alright. Now for this next part. I missed out on that. Okay, so for that, for when I do my T-zone, I use this style brush. For me, it's just easier to use. You can pretty much, I mean, there are brushes designed for each specific item, but for me, I just find what works best for my face, for what I'm doing on my face. And then I use this one for my bronzer. But you can use whatever you like as far as all that's concerned. It's really up to you. Like I said, it's makeup, it's artistry. You're an artist and you're creating things from nothing. Alright, before I get too far into this, I'm using my James Charles palette yet again because that is what Patrick used on his look, and it's just gonna be best for this type of situation because there's lots of pink and purple and blue. So the first step is you're gonna go into the pinkity drinkity on the palette right there, that lighter pink. Excuse the crying in the background, that is my little sister getting in trouble. Now you're gonna cover from here over on both sides. You kind of want it to be like right where your pupil ends and the white of your eye begins. That's where you want to start this. And you want to bring it out to the corner of your eye, because we are going to be creating a guide for where you're going to be putting your eyeliner. I always struggle with this eye, I swear. Do what works best for you. But for me, I struggle because I'm right-handed, and trying to do my left eye with my right hand is just a daunting task. And I also trying to match it up with the other side doesn't help much either. I'm gonna try and make them look as uniform as possible. Seeing as this one's a bit darker, we're gonna take that one just a little bit darker too. We're gonna try to anyway. Alright, and then once we have that, we are going to pop into the darker shade of pink, which is Skip. Here, let me see if I can show you a little bit better this time. This one right here, we're going to use this darker pink called Skip, and we're going to put that in the absolute corner of our eye. Make sure that with your brush cleanser, you're swishing it around and getting all of the extra off each time, because we don't want to mix them together. What I do is I just kind of keep going further out until it's kind of blended together. See how that blends in? Let's see if I can do even close to a decent job with this eye. Yep, that looks good. Alright, and then we're gonna pull into Playground. Excuse my palette, it got busted down here on shipping, but that's okay. Playground right here, this kind of bright blue color here. And we're gonna start in the corner and work this way. And then we'll go to the other side. Where I'm gonna screw up. I'm gonna fix this other side real quick because the darker pink doesn't quite come up as much. Better. Alright. Now, finally, we're going to take hello, and we're going to go over the blue that we just put on. And once you have it the way you want it, then we get to start going into eyeliner. Keep this close by though, because we will be coming back to it. Alright, this next step, you're going to want a very, very thin brush like this. Because we're going to be making the lines for our eyeliner. And what you want to do is you just want to find where your line is, and then you want to thicken it out. So that way you see how that's just a straight line. And then you take your sponge and you blend it out. Boom. And then you just do the same to the other side. It is extremely difficult doing this. And then just like the other side, you blend it out until you can't see it anymore. And then you just take your eyeliner and you're gonna follow that line. You're gonna want to take small strokes, super small strokes, until you hit the end. And then you have your line that you can use to give you an idea of what you're doing. I generally like to start here and then fill in as I go. You want to take your very sweet time with your eyeliner. It's a little hard to get used to at first. Once you're used to it, it gets easier with time. Sometimes it gets really hard because you want to just sit there and your eyes water up and It's being extra uncooperative today. Boom. This is the most aggravating part about doing my makeup, is the eyeliner. It drives me crazy every single time. Now that I've got this one done, I'm gonna do this one off camera because I know it takes a long time. Alright guys, make sure that you are following us on Instagram. Me and Patrick Rusher are putting our looks up every day or every other day at the very least. So that way you can check out our looks. If you have questions, definitely ask. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and hit the bell for the ding-a-ling so that you get the notifications for when we come out with new beauty content. Our beauty line is the tutorial sessions, which is on Wednesdays, so make sure you tune in on Wednesdays. Love you guys. I'll catch you later.